Hey, Tom, very good to see you. Today we are addressing a very important question. Is the 4% rule outdated? Now, Tom, don't just say yes. We're going to dive into this. I know you already have an answer, but for everybody who doesn't know, for decades, retirees have relied on the 4% rule to determine how much was safe to spend in retirement. Now, the rule's inventor says that we should be having a more conservative approach. So let's just start by breaking it down. What is the 4% rule?
So the 4% rule is a myth. It's dead and buried. Okay.
Okay, I told you. I want to elaborate on that.
Straight out of the way. So the idea originally behind the 4% rule was just simply that someone could take 4% of their portfolio value every year and use that as income in retirement and increase it by inflation every year, and they would never run out of money. So quick example, if you had $1 million, you could take $40,000 a year of income from it. And every year increase it a little bit by inflation, and you would always have your $1 million. That was the theory behind it.
Okay, so let's talk about that inflation, right, Tom? Because that's one of the reasons why he's saying that we need to be more conservative. Inflation hitting 8.5%. These are numbers we haven't seen since the 80s.
Right.
So what number then? Is there a way that we can say you have a safe percentage that you can withdraw?
So there are a number of studies. We're going to show you the one from Vanguard. There's studies from Wall Street Journal that say somewhere between 2.5% to 1.5% is the safe number nowadays. And that's really because of the type of returns people are getting on their fixed income pieces of their portfolio. Government bonds are down, municipal bond rates are down, corporate bond rates are down. So we're not getting the kind of interest rates on fixed income that we were back in the 90s. Mm-hmm. So it's a whole different world. Mm-hmm. So the way I approach it for my clients is quite differently. Instead of looking at it from a percentage income from your portfolio viewpoint, we're saying, hey, let's figure out how much is it that you need every month, right? And then what are the guaranteed income streams that you have coming in every month? And if there's a gap, then we tailor your portfolio to create that gap filler. Mm-hmm. There's nothing better. Nothing more fulfilling for a retiree than to wake up on January 1st of every year and know that their bills are going to be paid every year. And that's what guaranteed income streams are going to do. And that's what this approach will do. It will also hopefully allow for excess capital that you don't need to fill that gap to go into the market and hopefully get you some types of market return to fight inflation as you go on and further into retirement.
Right. And I'm glad that you're talking about income being a primary consideration here too, because when we talk about the markets, and I mean recent volatility included, this was another scenario with withdrawal rates, but it relies on almost real perfect withdrawal rates, which is quite a bit of risk.
Right. That's why that title says perfect, right? But we know nothing is perfect because this year, since November of 2021, the stock market has been in a bear market. People who were relying on, say, technology or NASDAQ type of stocks, they're down 25% in their portfolio. Right. So what this chart is showing you is that people have to take 100% market risk with their capital in order to be able to fulfill the 4% rule. And that, taking all of your money and putting it into the market for seniors or for retirees, that doesn't make sense at all.
That sounds very scary.
It should be.
Yeah. Well, I think that this is such an enlightening way to look at this question. So this was very helpful. Tom, I know that you guide your clients through this question and you evaluate exactly what they need to make sure that they don't run out of money in retirement. So if somebody has questions, what's the best way to reach you?
Call me, right? As we say every week, 973-394-0623. Email tjoconnell@internationalfinancial.com. Everyone should be doing an analysis, I think, in the way that I described. Understand what your inflows are, understand what your outflows are, and then fill that gap. That's the best way to do it. You're way better off making sure that you have income for life than trying to pretend that you're rich for life, right? So it's just two different ways of looking at your money. And like I said, January 1st, knowing that your bills are paid will give you a lot of comfort year in and year out when you're in retirement.
Yeah. Well said. All right, Tom, thank you.
Thanks, Erin.